and they were burning the cow in the middle of the street. Not burning it with firewood, they were putting gasoline on it, and people were Welcome to Nigeria.
One of my favorite moments during the wedding, we were dancing. Suddenly the electricity went off and people kept singing. And then suddenly the music went on again and continued. It was just for me, wow.
Why did you just keep it simple? We planned for 250 guests. Maybe we end up with 450 or 1,000, I don't know. I just let it run.
I had traveled a lot and I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. Like, this is a completely different environment.
You need to experience it to believe.
Learn to shout now. I have never shouted before in my life until I had the first real fight. I have never raised like my voice.
We decided to get married in Switzerland because I'm from Nigeria. They have to check my background. They employ a private investigator and sent it to my parents. They went to visit them late night.
We discussed religion-wise more for the children, that we will just post them and leave it up to them also how they want to continue with it.
In Nigeria, the religion of the father is not the salvation of the son. We stay transparent no matter what, even if it's unpleasant. So I've accepted my bullshit, he has accepted
exactly.
We have accepted each other's bullshit.
No one's perfect.
What happens when two cultures, two continents, and two families fall in love? You get drama, you get joy, you get challenges, you get wahala. And sometimes that wahala is incredibly sweet. Welcome to our Sweet Wahala. My name is Natalia Mufutau, and each week I sit down with Nigerians and their partners from across the globe to talk about everything, from in-law drama to the powerful love that holds it all together. Let's dive into today's story. Ekaro, Ekaso, Ekurole. My name is Natalia Mufutau, aka Naija Wifey, and today I have very special guests. Sophia was born in Switzerland to Swedish parents, and we have also a Nigerian here representing Ogun State, Mohamed. Even though you are private people, you decided to take part in my interview. I'm really happy that you want to share your story with me. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalia.
We have a very interesting combination here. It's Switzerland, Sweden, and Nigeria. How have you met and where?
Our story started in the capital of Switzerland, and we both stayed in the same student house. So Mohammed came here for his master's studies, and I was studying my bachelor degree. And yeah, we stayed in the same student house and met there through common friends at a typical Swiss raclette dinner.
It was 2012.
So 14.
First quarter 2012.
14 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
14 years, guys. I don't know if you have realized that.
Not yet.
Yes. So who approached who first? Was it Mohammed or was it Sophia? How was your first meeting at this raclette?
What do you think?
Oh.
What do you think?
As much as I know Nigerian men, there was something special about Sophia that you saw in her.
So, I was a person that approached her. She was unconscious of it, but actually, let me put it like this: she sowed the seed. In that sense, how do I put it? She is very inquisitive about people. She was asking me a lot of questions, and that was actually the first time somebody was going extremely on my nerves. I was like, what the hell do you want? Why do you keep asking questions? What do you want to get out of it? But somehow that's got me a bit, okay, why is she asking? Then afterwards, I found her interesting. Wow, why is she asking so much questions? And from the Nigerian nature of mind, we don't like to be asked too much questions. We prefer to say things and move on. And but she was relentless. Because of that, the friend organized a second dinner. And that was when
he told me, I have a huge crush on you. I remember that sentence very well. Just before I entered on the train to go somewhere.
So it was, I think it was a Friday. She had to go home.
Yeah, to my sister's wedding.
For her sister's wedding. And do you mind if I walk you to the train station? And she was like, she was all looking at me strange, was like, yeah, why does you want to? But you're welcome. And then I dropped the bomb.
And I didn't notice until he told me as a crush. and then a bit confused, and then the common
You were
friends we had.
confused, like, yeah.
I didn't get the signs before that. I really, yeah. And yeah, but then our common friend, I asked her then afterward if he's a good guy, because she knew him already a bit longer. And she said, yeah, he's a really nice guy. And then, yeah, then we started dating.
And
That's
the
how it
rest is
started.
the history. But Sophia, was Mohamed the first Nigerian that you have met, or have you met any Nigerians before?
No, actually, no. First Nigerian. Yeah, true.
So maybe that's the reason why you were asking so many questions, because you were just interested. Or was there something special about Mohamed that got your attention?
I think it was more, I'm just a curious person, and sometimes maybe it's also a Swedish thing to ask sometimes personal questions, and you want to know and understand what they do, where they come from, yeah, and also just the curiosity. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys started dating. So how was your dating going on?
So we took some time, took several months before we then really were girlfriend and boyfriend.
6 months later.
Yeah. I really tested him for a long time, because I was like, the next one is the one. And yeah. But he was.
Let's go back, Sophia, to this your testing. So how were you testing Mohamed?
Good question.
When I send text messages, she doesn't reply, or sometimes she just ignores me, like
To see if he's still interested.
to
yeah.
see if I'm interested. I was like, and you know us, you're very proud people. We don't take no for an answer. Unfortunately for her, the door she's going to get out, like she's going to pass through to go to the train station, my window is just on top, so I see everything going on at the entrance. So I know who's coming and going in. So whenever she's passing, I just write her text. Won't you answer my message? And yeah, so I was almost, how do you call it, a stalker.
Stalker.
Yeah, he did text me. Yeah, but I think just getting to know him and see. Yeah.
For me also, I think I appreciate that, because you know the way we in Nigerian men are, we are sometimes we can be very egoistic. So she was really testing the limits there.
Mohamed, have you dated anyone in Switzerland before?
No.
Yes, that's what I thought. So at the point of dating, did you experience any cultural differences or shocks?
I think, like you said, for me, I'm not very good at beating. Maybe it's the Nigerian thing, I don't know, maybe my personality. I just say it the way it's in my head, and sometimes she gets shocked about it. So when we start getting to know each other, once it was like, yeah, do you want to meet? Yes. Can you? I told her I was outside coming from somewhere. She was like, can you buy me a bread?
Yeah, that was good.
And
bring me some bread.
Bring me some. Can you please buy me a bread? And the way I was like, bread. Okay. I just went to the shop and just bought a toast. And for me, that's bread, right? For her, that's toast. I was like, so that was one of
the bread should have a, like, let's call it crunchy crust. That's bread.
That's
and
a bread.
Brought toast.
I brought a toast. It was like
agege bread.
Like agege bread. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So those are one of the cultural dynamics we started. And then I think once we went to the restaurant, and she was like trying to split the bill. I was like, what are you trying to do? And I'm not here competing with you. I invited you, so I pay. So
did she allowed you to pay?
Yeah. She has to.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it was nice. Like a very gentleman. He got me flowers, some gifts. That was nice. Like romantic gestures that I really appreciated. It was not just the cultural shocks in the beginning. I think it was really also when introducing to the family, or for me traveling the first time to Nigeria. That's when I had more like the exposure than in the dating phase, I would say.
Sophia, you said that you traveled to Nigeria. So after how many months of dating you went to Nigeria for the first time?
That was when I was 30.
Okay, 2015. Okay, then so 3 years dating already.
But before then, my parent was also visiting. They got to know Sophia.
Normally, when I interview the couples, the parents always come at the end when you are officially either engaged or you are planning to get married in Nigeria. So in this case, it was different. So how was this meeting?
Before we only met on Skype, and it's very hard to connect
Mhm.
to, yeah. And then they arrived they coming for 2 weeks, and we picked them up together. It's in Zurich, and yeah, we drove them home, and then Mohamed had to go back to work, so I was alone with them. And of course, I was very nervous. But I remember very well that they both gave me a big hug when we arrived at home, and they were very like warm, so I immediately felt like accepted. And yeah, from there we got to know each other. But of course it was quite an experience for them, first time in Switzerland. And interesting is that we were all staying at my parents' house at that moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were also, our parents got to know each other.
That was a risk, I have to say. If you think about it, it was risky.
Yeah, but I think like we are lucky because both our parents are very open-minded, and they both, from both sides, they said doesn't matter where the person comes from.
So both parents were very accommodating.
Maybe there was a small cultural experience for me when your father woke me or us in the middle of the night to have a family talk. It was like 3-4 a.m.
We wake up very early. We do that now.
I don't know if it's also specific to your family, but
we do that.
Yeah, which I like. It's when everything is quiet, you sit down. That was towards the end of your parents' day, and we've got to sit down together to see what are the next steps. And yeah, from your father officially welcoming me also to the family. But yeah, that was for me like a new cultural experience to have such a talk in the middle of the night. I have never done that
but
before.
Did you know they are going to wake you up, or they just woke you up and they?
No, I didn't know.
And you had such a serious conversation with them at 4 a.m. that you didn't know you're gonna wake up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That repeated
good for you.
When we were in Nigeria, we did that again, but then I already knew what it's about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to ask more about the first meeting of both parents, because I guess your parents, Mohamed, they speak English very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went better than we also expected. Everybody was pretty chilled, so they just got along like they knew each other a very long time. So my mom is not the most talkative person. She's very quiet. My dad is the charmer, is one that talks, likes to talk, and then there's a kind of balance in the situation.
My parents, my father is more the calm one. My mom does all the small talk. So mostly
it's my dad and Sophia's mom
who talk like, how was your flight? How are you? How is everyone at home? Yeah, like this. That's how they started.
So this is how it started, and up till today, even sometimes informations that we don't know that we are discussing, they already exchange it, and then
they are regularly chatting on WhatsApp.
Even till today.
Yeah, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
That's not common, I think. I don't think I've heard about this before. No, there was the American and Nigerian parents, but from Europe, no. But Sophia, did you get any questions that he's with you for passport, or he want to scam you?
From anyone in my surroundings?
Yes, from anyone from your surrounding, yeah.
No one ever mentioned anything like this. No.
Maybe I can share one interesting story. So this is when we decided to get married. So when we ready, in Switzerland, there's a lot of paperwork you have to follow. And then because I'm from like Nigeria, there's some other paper trails they need to check. So they have to check my background to make sure I don't have any extended family hidden somewhere in Nigeria. So they took some questionnaire, they gave it to me. I filled it up, not knowing what they want to do with this questionnaire. And then they took the same questionnaire, they sent it to the embassy in Nigeria. I went to my parents. They went to visit them late night. I put all the address, everything in this questionnaire. And they employ a kind of private investigator. and sent it to my parents. And my parents were a bit like shocked because it's a mix of both shock and kind of impressed in that sense that they actually care about the citizen. And they brought the same questionnaire to my parents and they asked them the same question I answered on the questionnaire just to see the matching it, just to make sure everything I'm saying is true. That's the tip of the iceberg. Then back then, I still have a very good relationship with my primary school. Meanwhile, I failed my primary school also there in Nigeria. They went there to check with the proprietor, to check all the information. Then, funny story also, before then, Sophia and I visited Nigeria before this particular incident that they were sent to investigate. I brought Sophia to my secondary school, my CVI school, Wesley. They also went there to check my transcript there just to make sure everything I declared in that questionnaire is legit. So they did a kind of full background check on me. And then afterwards, they was like, okay, then you're free to get married to us.
But guys, he said before they got married, it is not before he applied for the citizenship, eh?
No.
It is before when they decided to get married. So this is shocking, actually.
So the Swiss state is checking that.
It's checking that, yeah.
Yeah, no, so back to the no one ever asked me. Maybe someone thought it, I don't know. But I didn't really care because I knew that's not what he's after.
I never met anyone that did not hear that Nigeria is this or that. Maybe also the fact that it was like 14 years ago. So
maybe.
Yeah, but then the Afrobeat was not that popular either. The scam has been going for a long time, the Nigerian Prince thing. But wow, that's really refreshing, actually. I still want to go back to Sophia, to your first trip to Nigeria, because that's normally the one that you remember the most. So how was it?
Yeah, it already started at the airport.
As it always does.
I had traveled. I lived 1 year in Mexico when I was 17. I went there on exchange year. I had traveled a lot. And I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. Like, that's a completely different environment. Yeah, but it was really interesting. We started with, I think there was no electricity at the airport. And the bags, we had to wait for 1-2 hours. We didn't know if the bag arrives. All these things. Of course, it was stressful in that moment, but not so worried because I had Mohamed who was looking out for me. So that's it was okay. Yeah, and then getting out of the airport.
Cooked.
Yeah, of course the heat. Yeah, and a lot of crowds, but also then I think we stayed. Did we stay at the hotel? I guess for one night, and then traveled in the morning.
That was the second time. The first time we went.
And there was a huge traffic. Of course, I've never seen something like this before. There was some festivity, and that was like we were standing for hours. The go slow. Yeah, I mean it was a lot, but it was also really interesting to change environment and see a different lifestyle. Yeah. I mean, he told me about it. He showed me photos. I saw videos, but you have to be there to really experience it, be in it. Yeah.
So maybe just to help out there. So when she was going for the first time, I was like, yeah, I've been to Mexico. I said, no, don't say you've been to Mexico. You have not been to Nigeria. It's nothing you have experienced. Because that's what I try to also tell my colleagues, like, I can't tell you about Nigeria. You need to experience it to believe it. Because if I tell you about it, you think I'm exaggerating. So you need to see for yourself. And that's what I'm.
Yeah. So the start was, it was a lot of impressions. And then when we were at home at your parents' place, it was way more quiet again. It was just to get out of Lagos. That was quite something. Then Ibadan was a bit more quiet at the house. And what I really enjoyed was the early mornings when you can hear people getting up early. You can hear them chit-chatting, starting to prepare things. There was, of course, you can hear the church, you can hear the mosque, you can hear all the, what is Han, Krähen.
The cock in the morning crowing, the cock crowing. And
Yeah.
The last time when I was in Nigeria, there was a guy praising Jesus at midnight. Then I couldn't sleep. Normally, when this happens in Finland or in Poland, so then I go there myself and I talk to the person. I tell him, go away, yeah? But here I wanted to go myself, but my husband said, no, you have to go to the gatekeeper. You have to go to the security. And then they have to talk to the guy. I was like, okay. So they talk to the guy. I think they pay him some money. And then you mentioned this mosque. So then when I started falling asleep, then the mosque starts normally. So I think 5 or so, or is it like 5? I don't remember. And then when the mosque ends, then the church starts again.
Exactly. So it's also...
but it's nice. You feel more alive. There's something going on.
You feel alive. Okay, so no, me, I feel dead. No, I can't. No, to me, it's like a trauma coming when I hear someone talking about it.
I'm a morning person. I love it. So
yeah. No, I'm a morning person too, but
no, okay.
So maybe one thing to say is, I think what also shocked Sophia is like, so when she was there for the first time, like the Nigerian thing used, we are all like this huge network of people. People start coming as early as 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m. to visit him, to say hello to her, and she was like, I'm not even out of the shower.
I was showering and the first people came to greet at 7 a.m. And I just got out of my hair, was still wet, but it was very sweet. First person waiting to greet me. That's really wonderful. So the first few days was just greeting people. Yeah.
As a Swiss and having a very strong Swedish tradition, how do you feel about greeting a lot of people in a short period of time?
You mean that I have to do a lot of like small talk? And I think that, of course, is not my nature to talk a lot, but I have to say my mom trained me a lot in that sense to do the socializing, small talk when visitors come. So that was okay.
But Mohamed, you wanted to share some story.
So my brother, because my youngest brother was trying to greet my dad. Sophia saw like lying on the floor, and then she was like, what's he trying to do?
Yeah, he told me and he showed me how to greet. But in the very first moment, I was like, he's doing push-ups. And then I realized, oh no, yeah, true, that's the greeting. And like first instinct was, what is he doing? Why is he doing push-ups? And then I realized, yeah.
Coincidentally, he was wearing
He was wearing sneakers. So that's, I don't know, I'll never forget that moment.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and of course the cultural also, like to see the children that are very well behaved and very respectful. That was also very new to me, and very helpful also. They really, they look out for each other. That was something new.
So back in Switzerland or Sweden, so what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean that they listen more. I think maybe that was a cultural shock from my mother that joined once when we came for the wedding, and she was there, and some children were doing some naughty things with my sister, and just playing. And then my mother said something like, "No, don't do it." And then all the children were quiet, and immediately said, "Yes, grandma. Yes, grandma." And my mother was like, "What? Wow." They really listen. So I think that is like the essence. Maybe here they don't immediately listen, or don't show the same kind of respect for the elderly. Yeah.
What about the food, Sophia?
Of course, my favorite is the jollof rice. I have to say that's the one I also prepare here, and I like to try everything. Also the pepper soup I really enjoy. I like spicy, but it's amount of spicy my stomach can't handle anymore. So, and of course they prepared yam for me, pounded yam, egusi, right?
Yeah.
And it's still I like spicy, but I cannot take the amount of spice.
What my mom usually does, they have their own pot where they eat spicy, is water, and then they have Sophia's pot that's less spicy. So that's what we usually do. So that was very nice. Yeah.
Of course, the fried plantain is really nice. Yeah.
This food, it sounds lovely, but if you think about the calories that it contains, anytime I go to Nigeria, I gain like 5 kilos or something. It's crazy.
True. Yeah.
That's that. They said the first rule of culture is the food. So you start with the food, then you experience the culture. So
yeah. We all love Nigeria because of the food. So that was your first Nigeria experience. I have to say you had a good one because some women, they come back traumatized. Some women, they fall in love. So
Yeah. But for me, it was more, I finally understood Mohammed. It was for me, we didn't have the marriage plan then. Of course, we knew, but it was not like agreed on yet. But after that, I knew I can finally understand where he comes from, how this shaped who he is. So it was a very important experience.
I love what you said. I really love what you said because that's what I always say, especially to women that want to better understand their husbands to be. Go to Nigeria and see the kind of environment that he grew up in. Because you guys, Nigerians, you can come from a small village in the middle of nowhere, but when you come to Europe, you do shakara, you dress well, and you would never say that this is the kind of environment that you grew up back in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But it's like you said rightly, Sophia, that it shapes you. So what did you realize after this trip about Mohammed?
That I noticed that before, but I understood why. He's very resilient. He was in Switzerland fighting himself through the studies to finance it somehow. And he kept going. He was mentally super strong. I don't know if I could have done it. Didn't break down, even though there's so much pressure. And I saw, okay, this is where he came from. He also had to fight himself through some tough moments. Not like I grew up in this little bubble in Switzerland where I'm safe. His critical thinking, like always analyze all possible dangers or what could happen, think ahead, plan ahead, strategize. Very determined as the oldest brother of 3 and looking out for everyone because he also had to support the parents, of course, to look out for his 2 brothers. Kind of then gave me the answer to why he is the way he is. Yeah. For some examples. Yeah.
I love that. How do you feel, Mohammed, when she's saying it?
Yeah. Thank you. Proud and at the same time, grateful also. A bit flattered. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, I know it's difficult because we cannot see your face, but very often in this podcast, we talk about things that either you don't remember anymore because it's been such a long time ago, or people are so focused nowadays once you get kids, work and everything, that sometimes people don't have time to talk. Or so they normally talk about daily life or the arrangements for their families. So that's how I always advertise this podcast to people, that this is the time that you can spend together 90 minutes and listen to each other and have a very good memory. You guys mentioned about the first trip to Nigeria, and we also talked briefly about the wedding. So let's go to this part, because guys, to organize a big wedding in Nigeria, no be small, oh.
A lot of drama.
I'm very happy that it successfully happened.
We had our civil wedding in Switzerland, small party here, and then 1 year later, 1.5 maybe, later in Nigeria. So then there was actually more stress on you to organize that and on your parents, right?
The first challenge was the guest list, right? That works in Nigeria. I told my parents, can we have a controlled environment? And then I spoke with my mom. Okay, you're in charge of this. I'm going to get someone. You don't have to do everything yourself. Just get some people that will help you.
We'll try to support you. The Nigerian settings, people don't get started until it's like the last minute. So everything just goes into, let's call it, a beautiful chaos. So I went to Nigeria twice. Okay, we had the wedding end of the year, December, I think 2017 to be precise. And I went home like 3 times that year, once with Sophia, once alone, and then for the wedding. And then we'll try to organize everything in advance, but still things don't fall into place. But it was okay. At the end of the day, everything worked out. But it was one drama after the other, even on the wedding day. I think the best part is we said we wanted to start at what time again?
Yeah. We started maybe 3-4 hours later than planned. But by then I already knew. I was just waiting and yeah.
So about the guest list, so I was telling my parents, why don't you just keep it simple? You're free to invite, yeah, let them do what they want. At the end of the day, it's for them, for the parents. It's like their pride to do that. So that was, but at the end of the day, it went well. I mean, we were saying we planned for 250 guests. Maybe we end up with 450 or 1,000. I don't know. I lost count, so I just let it run.
And I think from Switzerland there were like 15 people who joined us.
So from
family and some friends.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were all staying at Mohammed's parents' house.
And I said, look, I'm not going to put you guys in an hotel. You're going to have a real cultural experience. So they were staying with us at home with the generator screaming almost 24/7. I mean, we
bought so many mattresses.
With a lot of mattresses on the floor, and everybody enjoyed it, apparently, because everybody had a lot of fun.
Also, my father enjoyed that morning. He also said he enjoyed it when everybody starts singing.
There's already noise at 5 o'clock. People that are not used to it, wow. 5 o'clock, everything was already loud. People singing, mosque, the minaret already screaming, and everybody enjoyed it. Coincidentally, there was also a big party in one of the neighbors along the street, and they were burning the cow in the middle of the street. And everybody was shocked about that. I was like, yeah, welcome to Nigeria. If I was telling you this narratively, you won't believe me. Now you see it for yourself. I can still send you some pictures if you're interested, Natalia. And everybody was shocked about it. And the best part is they were not burning it with firewood. They were putting gasoline on it, and people were even they're putting gasoline on it.
Oh my goodness. So it's something that they would not even see in the movie, no?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had rented buses. And then one of the buses broke down in the middle of the road. So we had to stop in the middle of the road to repair the bus. And the best part is the mechanic brought a fake spare part. We replaced it. After a few meters, the bus stopped again. And the mechanic had to go and buy the new one. So I was like, welcome to Nigeria. And everybody was already sweating. And then also once we were in traffic and we didn't know the reason for the traffic. So some police just got down with some, how do you call it? We call it koboko. And suddenly
this kind of
this
yeah, I know. I'm a very big fan of it. Yes, I know.
Yeah, he was sitting in the car and chasing people away.
And then the whole street was free again suddenly, and people were impressed. I was like, but there was traffic. I said, there wasn't traffic. It was people just blocking the road.
Yeah, people blocking. When I listen to you guys, I'm thinking about safety because that's number one comment is always, please check your security. Please check your security. Don't allow your family to be without the security, this and that. So how did you make sure that everything is okay?
Just to put that, because for us, because we knew we were going to be moving around a lot, we had to look for some security with us, especially because of the police checkpoints and stuff. So we had to make arrangement for that. It's not because of the security per se, it's just to have easy movement around without people stopping us. The Nigerian factor, the moment they see you are with a foreigner, they have potential to start stopping you, asking questions. But if you have police escorts with you, then you have free everywhere. If I travel alone, if Sophia and I travel alone, we don't need security. And if we travel, we have only been with one of our kids there, we don't need security either. So we just
keep it simple.
Okay, but Sophia, I'm really curious about your parents. How was Nigeria for them?
I think, of course, overwhelming. But they were also impressed the way people handle life, the way, they deal with all these daily stresses that we don't have here, right? I think I was impressed by that.
And what about the wedding itself? Because a Nigerian wedding, it's quite an experience on its own.
They had a lot of fun, but it was like a lot of people.
It was very funny when all of your friends, when you were all kneeling in front of my parents. I just heard that they were all giggling. Because they just thought it was so much fun to join.
It was a lot of fun for them. I even remember what Mama said. Sophia's mom was like, wow, that she has so much respect. Even out of nothing, people still are friendly, very respectful. And
they were welcomed so warm-heartedly by everyone.
Exactly.
My family, and that's what they loved.
They said is it feels like we've known all these people for a while now. That's what they said at the end, because since they came and everybody knew they'll be staying at our place, our house was like almost like a highway. We didn't close, the door was not closed anymore. As per one
because
person
everyone wanted to greet the Oyibo because there were also so many people.
And there was a lot of children staying with us, and our friends and families like, where do all these people, who are they? Helping with the wedding preparations. I was lucky Mohamed told me a bit what was the plan for the ceremony, but not everything goes exactly the way it's planned. So I had my sister-in-law who was like navigating me through the whole ceremony. One of my favorite moments during the wedding was after, when we were dancing, the whole crowd, suddenly the electricity went off and people kept singing. Like as if nothing happened. They kept singing super loud. It was amazing. And then suddenly the music went on again and continued. It was just, for me, wow.
Because they are used to it. The party continue.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, this wouldn't happen here. The people just keep going no matter what happens.
Nowadays in Europe we have everything, but once you go to Nigeria, then you become more grateful, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
We have discussed a lot today about Sophia and her perception, but Mohamed, I wanted to ask about your perception about Switzerland, because Switzerland is a kind of complex country, in my opinion.
I don't know how much you know about Swiss people. They're very conservative. I have to say that. But at the same time, you get to know them. They're the nicest people ever, because they are warm. They just used to stay within their small, where they know, and they just mingle within the people they know. So that's why it was very difficult in the beginning. But the luck I had is I stayed in the student environment, so that helped me to get into the system. And I have to say, the first 2 months was the most horrible, and the first 2 months you can imagine. So this is also a very interesting story. So I came in November, like I said, it was already dark. People are not out anymore, right? Winter is already starting. And I thought Christmas people would be out, like in Nigeria, where people, I think during the day, in the evenings, you mingle with people. And I thought it's going to be the same culture. So that was my first cultural shock. So in the evening, I got dressed. I said, I'm going to the city to mingle with people and stuff. And then I got to the city, like a capital city, a beautiful city. It's like a graveyard. The only people I see on the street are the junkies. There's no normal people. It was empty. And then I walked like at least like 3-4 kilometers, hoping that maybe I was not in the right location. And I was walking through the old city. There was no one. And then I went back to the student house where I was staying, and luckily I met some students. I was like, where are the people? Why are people not on the street? It's Christmas. You should enjoy it together. Oh, okay. When did you arrive? I said I just arrived in November. Okay, this is the Swiss culture. On Christmas night, everybody's with family, they spend time with family, and it's indoors. That's why you don't see people on the street. And the guy was so nice. Since you are here, are you going to join us for Christmas? So that is how I started getting into. That was my first, let me call it, the cultural awareness. So that was when I started understanding how the people think. And it took me a while to really get into the culture, but I got into the culture. Sophia helped me also a lot, I have to say that, because there were some things I wasn't conscious of. There's some things you can spark a conversation out of nothing just by simple gestures in Switzerland. The Swiss people love that. And I do that a lot, and it has helped me also in different things, in getting to know people at my workplace. So it really helps a lot. I didn't even read a book about Switzerland when I came. It has been, I have to say, if you ask me if I'll do it again, I'll say yes, because it was one of the most life-changing experience for me.
Oh, Sophia, how do you feel when he's saying it?
Of course, like you said, a lot of memories coming back. It's true when you have time to sit down together like that, to reflect on what our journey has been so far and how we grew. It's of course emotional.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to hear also that he's doesn't regret coming here, and that he feels like and I can for sure confirm that he successfully integrated into the Swiss culture very well.
Because you guys, do you speak Swiss German or together, or to each other, or do you communicate in English?
We speak German, so German.
He speaks German, but I understand Swiss German pretty much, so it's not.
But when
so you communicate in German.
But I communicate in German because the Swiss German, it's a kind of dialect, and I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sophia, now we know a little bit more about Mohamed. I was really looking forward to this interview because you have very interesting background. You were born in Switzerland, but you have very strong roots in Sweden. So can you please share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so my parents were always interested in improving their German. And that's why, and I think they also were always curious about living abroad. That's how they traveled a lot together and moved to Germany, and after a while to Switzerland. And they wanted to stay just for a few years, and maybe then return at some point to Sweden, which they didn't. And we have 3 daughters. We were born in Switzerland and grew up here, went to school, but always kept a strong connection to Sweden. We spoke Swedish at home and traveled like 3 times a year to Sweden. Yeah. And so that's how I kept this very strong connection to our home country. I identify with both Swiss and Swedish. When the national teams are playing, I cannot say who I support more.
Oh, really? To this extent?
Yeah, that's both the same. And I went to live only 6 months once in Sweden, just to experience it during my master's, to see how it is to live there. And sometimes it's hard to say what is my Swedish side and what is my Swiss.
Yeah, because that was my next question. Like, what was it easy growing up in Switzerland and having Swedish parents?
Yeah, I think so, because culturally we are close.
Okay.
I would say so, but compared maybe to others, if you now take Nigeria, Switzerland, then it's a way bigger difference. But of course, maybe my parents had most of these cultural shocks when they came here, more we children that grew up here.
Yeah, obviously because you speak native, the Swiss German, I understand, or German. Yeah. So obviously it is easier, and then once you speak the language, you understand the culture as well. So I totally get that. But now I'm thinking about your children, because you have amazing boys. So upbringing, I'm thinking culture-wise. Is it easy for you guys? Like, how do you explain to them that they are Nigerian, Swiss, Swedish?
They're still so small, right? That we never explained it. I think they just grow into that.
How old are they?
3 and 5.
Okay.
I give them a lot of the Swedish culture. I try to give them as much as possible, because the Swiss one, they get it through the environment anyway and through school. So for me, it's important. For example, I have a lot of Swedish books, some Swedish like events, Santa Lucia, once a year, or the Midsummer. We also go to and celebrate it with the Swedish community here. Yeah, of course, we travel.
So your parents speak Swedish to them?
Yeah.
Okay, and what language do you
also
speak with them?
So
I only speak, Swedish to them.
and I speak Yoruba to them only.
Okay.
Only. So if they ask me anything, we only converse, and the kids are so accustomed to it. So when they speak to their mom, they switch to Swedish, and then when they speak to me, they switch to Yoruba.
And when with each other, we communicate in German.
And when we have visitors, we speak in German, and they blend in easy, and they speak German too. So we speak mainly 3 languages at home, and then we have the dialect, which is the Swiss German. So they actually, because they are in playgroup and kindergarten, they only speak the dialect to them. So they speak Swiss German also. So they are used to switching languages. And what we also do, at least, is that I bring my parents, and my parents, the Nigerian parents, I'm not the one to start learning English grammar. I was like, I said, if I come to Nigeria, you become the translator. I'm not going to translate for them when I just start helping me and speaking Yoruba to them. So each time they come, they help me with the Yoruba, and the kids really catch up quickly, and they get new vocabulary. And sometimes they say something, they have to look at their face. Where did you learn that? I learned it from grandpa. I learned it from grandma. And this is very interesting. And once I didn't know what my mom did to them. They were calling my mom Olofofo.
What does it mean? I don't know this one.
Olofofo means somebody that like a snitch. You know how Nigerian dads are. That's how I am with my boys. They're boys, so there's some discipline that needs to get in boys up. And then if they do anything, and my mom tells them that she's going to report to me, and they start calling her Olofofo. I call her the snitch.
I will remember this one now. Yeah, I will ask my boys what it means. But how do you feel, Sophia, if Mohamed is saying something that you don't understand?
I learned it now. He wants to chip in.
The kids tells her the meaning.
No, but mostly I understand what it's about. And if I don't understand what it's about, then I just ask. And Mohamed relates for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's very important that they learn Yoruba. So I don't mind it now and then. I need to ask. Yeah.
I think usually all the tones, all the way I speak with the kids, she can follow. What usually happens is when my parents are here, then we go deep into the dialect, and then we disappear. Then she gets lost.
But I know all the Nisuru, Chekachan, Choco. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, Enisur, I think I know everything what you said as well. It's wait. Yes.
The instructions. Yeah.
Yes.
What do you mean instructions?
All the instructions. Yeah, I understand what it's about, but of course, if it's complex.
The communication is very important, because many people don't discuss it even before they start dating and before they start thinking about the kids. What kind of language are they going to speak, and how is this going to be done? So did you guys have this kind of discussion?
I will not say we had some discussion, but more we both have our strengths and weaknesses. So what we just try to do is, so for instance, I am a very confrontational person. Yes, you know what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
I talk, and I'm not afraid of conflict and stuff, and that's the opposite of the Swedish. I think the most important thing is what we try to do is try to come adapt to each other, and what we usually do is I learned to use the calm approach now and then, and I told her to, you're allowed to scold me when you need to scold me. You just don't say yes or anything like that kind of thing. So you also are allowed to be confrontational. So because I know myself, Nigerians, we are not afraid of drama. If you bring it, we take it. And if we need to bring it too, we bring it. So it's no problem. So these are things like we met ourselves, like we have to learn. You both learn from each other. And that's the idea of being in a relationship, right? Make yourself better. So we improve that part of each other. So she is also, sometimes she scolds me when I'm in my Nigerian mode. And I was like, I know you. And then
I learned to shout now. I have never shouted before in my life until I had the first real fight. I have never raised like my voice. Yeah.
But this, I have to tell you, this helps in life. But Sophia, you have to be careful because I went to South Africa. I thought that Africa, of course, obviously, I know that Kenya and so like different cultures, people are calmer and so on. But I went to South Africa and we had a problem with the room. And I started shouting at the guy at the reception. And the way he looked at me, I stopped. So I stopped. My husband just told me like because it was middle of the night and it was a problem. It was after we just get with the kids from the airport. It
oh
was
no.
crazy. But no, it actually we had to change the hotel at the end though because the guy refused. No, the guy. So the shouting is a good skill, but it has to be used wisely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really learned the hard way about the cultural differences within Africa. But guy, I was asking you about the languages, but you jumped into a very important topic, which is the communication in the relationship. It seems that your story is like a fairy tale. Everything's been going well. Obviously, it's life, so we know it's not been going well. But
No.
how do you solve your conflicts, and in what language?
Yeah, I think in conflict we go back to English, right? Yeah, that's how we started, right?
That's how it started.
And how do we solve it?
Yeah, good question. It depends actually. I think, like I said,
I think what we have learned to focus on what is important, and what is important to us, we go into conflict. Like we confront each other. If something's very important to me, I confront. And some things, small things that we can learn to live with and just accept, maybe, or just let it go. But this has like now been 14 years, an ongoing
improvement.
It took a lot of energy, it took a lot of nerves. Yeah, of course, also tears. Especially the first time when we really got together as a couple, the first time, and then the first time when you had your first child together. Those were like the hot spots of conflict. Yeah, that we went through.
And I think, I'm not used to saying sorry. If you know what I meant. So I had to learn to say, okay, it's fine. I'm sorry. Even, just learn to say sorry and try to explain yourself, or trying to, let me put it, not like trying to validate where you have reacted the way you react, but just trying to make the person understand what you're trying to communicate. Because sometimes when we are hungry, sometimes you say some things that was not unnecessary and stuff. You should learn to take that back and try to apologize so that the person feel appreciated. I think that is the most important, and the respect. And for us also, I think that is the baseline for everything. If it's burning, let's put gasoline, let it burn fully. Let's discuss it.
That's an interesting approach. Put the gasoline if it's burning, and we are talking about your Swedish Swiss wife.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's what I mean. You don't avoid conflicts, because if you stomach it, at some point you explode anyway. Why don't you just put gasoline and let it burn it completely? And that is what we've been, and that has helped a lot. It also helps me to. I'm not very good at presenting stuff. I'll be honest about that. I just say it, and sometimes it doesn't come out to the way I feel, and sometimes the external and internal environment are two different things. Sometimes there's a conflict, so it doesn't come out well. So I just now learn to present better. Now that even we have kids, they are looking at you, so you have to set good examples also. And this is very important. So, like she said, it's an ongoing improvement. I don't think one would ever be perfect there, but I think one thing we always say is we are both committed to this. This is what we want. So we put in all the work to make it work, to make it solid. I think that has always been, and that's why no matter what happens, we always find our way back. So anything there, let's discuss it, put it on the table. You don't need to stomach it. Just let it out, because if you stomach it, it's just going to be heavy. So always put it on the table. A problem shared is half solved. How do you say it? And that's just the way we approach it. We don't, and we try not to. Now and then there's some burning topics that you go to bed with, but you just discuss it. Look, what you did, I didn't like it, and it still pisses me off. Just that. So you just say it out like that, and that helps a lot. And sometimes when you're not in a good mood, also, it's like, yeah, look, don't annoy me. I don't have the stomach for it at the moment, so let it be. So like that, just those kind of little things. So that has really helped, because Nigerians, we can also, as loud as we can also give you the silent treatment when we want to, and that is not always.
Yeah, it's like bipolar, or the borderline is like from one side to the other.
Exactly.
It's
So and these are things you just learn to manage, and like I said, it's all about commitment, right? You're committed to each other, and just put everything on the table, and that's always help. I think it always helps anyone. We stay transparent no matter what, even if it's unpleasant. So sometimes I think that's always our communication strategy.
But Sophia, how do you feel when he's putting the gasoline into the fire when you have already a heated conversation?
I've learned to handle strong emotions more, but still who I am, I'm still struggling to handle if someone is annoyed at me. That is for me hard, because I grew up with harmony, seeking, conflict avoiding more. I was not so used to it, and it will still be me, and I'll still have those emotions that feel uncomfortable in the moment of conflict, but I've learned that is what I feel, but mentally the thoughts, okay, I know through the experience with fights, we had these fights before, we will solve it. That helps to handle those emotions of this unpleasant feeling if someone is annoyed with you. And also learn to sometimes just, aushalten, like to take in that maybe a conflict will be ongoing for some hours. Usually I have the urge to solve it immediately, to immediately go back into peace treaty. But sometimes just to let those emotions linger of annoyance, of anger, of sadness, and live to accept that they are there, but knowing it will go back again to peace. To live in that emotion and let it be. You don't have to solve immediately. Because Mohammed is more, sometimes he needs some time to cool off. The gasoline needs to, before we can really talk again. And then, I just have to accept that it'll take a while and to experience this unpleasant emotions for a while.
But Sophia, you mentioned that the birth of your son, because the first child in the family is always challenging. And you coming from two cultures, Mohammed bringing the Niger Wahala, and for example, like what I was shocked, it's like you bath children in the morning, for example, in Nigeria, or you bath them twice a day. So to me, that was shocking. But how was it for you guys?
For me, it was new to put the oil on the head, to protect where this opening is. Of course, and also it's not necessarily the daily bathing here, but that for me it was okay. It makes sense to me because of the diapers and everything. But it took a lot of time to always bath him. It's very sweet actually to watch him. Mohammed was very dedicated to the baby bathing routine.
So his mom came over.
Very important to him. Yeah.
Okay.
You said, what did you ask?
So I said that Mohammed's mom came to Switzerland.
No, it was during Corona, so unfortunately it was not possible. Yeah.
Because you said that when the mom was bathing him.
No, Mohammed was bathing.
When Mohammed was bathing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and but I think more of course, in the beginning, when we talk about conflicts, more because of the lack of sleep and no more time to yourself, like that was more the fuel to more conflicts. Yeah, and then later when they get older, of course, you have different parenting styles, but sometimes it also doesn't even matter. It can just be personality or what family you come from. It doesn't really matter also which country, but we had to adjust again and cost again to some different discussions. Of course, we also change in your identity, in your role when you become a parent. So it's a lot of things coming together.
It's true. What about your own experience, Mohammed? Do you still remember?
Of course I do. I mean,
5 years ago.
For me, it's like I said. For me, it was very clear that this is. I know normally if my parents were close by, I have some relief. But for me, it was clear when we wanted to have the kids. We knew where it was coming, and I was like, I just stepped into. It was natural for me to step into the role, and knowing that I don't have my parents around, and then we were both lucky. Then we have the COVID issue, so we're in home office. So it was very perfect for me. So I could juggle everything with ease. I could work from home. I could support her with the baby, and so it was natural to just get into that role, at least for me. Of course, like Sophia said, there's a lot of identity change there and all that, but it was not something you had to think through too much. You just go with the flow.
But what do you mean? What do you mean, guys, when you say the identity change?
To become a parent, right?
Yeah. What do you exactly see? Because how do you see it in yourself, this change?
Initially, just as an example, before we had kids, after marriage, we were like 4 or 5 years together. just waiting for the next holiday to travel somewhere and stuff. And now your life is all about the kids. Okay, oh, the diaper's empty, for example. Oh no, it needs milk. Oh no, you need to do the next shopping. When are we going to get him? His clothes are getting small. Now you even stop thinking about yourself. You start thinking just about the baby. So you build your whole life around, just like I said, it's like you build your whole life around those little ones. And like I mean, we were discussing it also to those, for us, is, yeah, that's our life now. At least we have lived up at a certain level, and we've had a lot of fun. We're still having fun. It's not over. But now they are starting their life, and all our goals that they have a good start. So push through the rest of their life like we have been pushing through it. So even better.
I'm very happy to hear that you are actively taking part in the boys' life, because not all the in Nigeria it's different. The division of the role, the division of the labor. Let's put it this way.
Yeah. That was maybe also some of the questions I asked him in that testing phase when we started dating. I said, it's very important for me that he's helping in the household and with the children, proactive, and yeah. There was never you grew up, he knew way more about taking care of babies than me, because he grew up taking care of other children. He was teaching me a lot. I'd never changed the diaper before. And yeah, you were advanced in that way with all that knowledge.
So maybe just for you, Natalia. So I'm used to taking care of my younger brothers, right? I didn't change their diapers, but I had cousins. I'm used to taking care of kids. So it was very easy to step into the role. And maybe because I'm also the first child, and the Nigerian mentality, if you're the firstborn, you need to step almost into a father, sometimes mother role. Maybe that's one of the few things that for me it was very natural to just go into this role. So those are one of the few things I think culturally, I mean, as a Nigerian, is one of the few things I'm very proud of. And
wow,
it was very easy for me because I know people always say men, there are gender roles, I agree, in the Nigerian setup. But the way I grew up was quite different. There was my mom and there was my dad. When my dad is home, he's always fully present, and with us, most boys are afraid of their dads in Nigeria, but we're afraid of him. But I was always like confronting him in a very tactical way, like direct. But at the same time, they tried to give us all the tools, and yeah, it was. I had a different mentality growing up than the way people say, the dad doesn't do all this, change diapers and stuff. But I grew up differently, I have to say.
That's so lovely to hear. I'm so happy, really, to hear that. It's very refreshing. But you, Sophia, you mentioned that during this checkup phase, if Mohammed is worthy, you or not. But have you discussed the religion? Because I think that's a very important topic as well.
We discussed religion-wise more for the children, that we said they can grow up with both. Like officially register them with any, and if they still later on want to officially register with one, they can still do it. But we will just expose them to both religions and leave it up to them also how they want to continue with it. So that's just the only thing we discussed before we had children. How we want to. Yeah.
Okay. And Mohammed, your parents were okay as well? That's because in Nigeria and in Muslim religion, it's like the kids should they have the religion of their father.
Yeah. So maybe I can help you a little bit also there. So for me, like I said, I grew up a bit, I'm like a bit of, how to say, like one of the round peg in a square hole, or how do you say it? I grew up actually with both religions. So my mom used to be a Christian. It's now that she changed to a Muslim. So I was growing up with both religions. And my parents never tell us one is bad or one is good. All they told us it's whatever you're doing, just always remember the son of whom you are and make sure you do it right. And that was the only condition. But of course, they encourage us to practice what they practice, but they never took us like by force, by fire to do what they do. Because there's a saying in Nigeria, the religion of the father is not the salvation of the son. So it's the same apparently. The religion of the father is not the salvation of the son. So it means Esin Babako Bomola. So it's you don't have to do what you're told to do. You have to forge your own path.
I like it.
And that's what my dad always tells us, I want you to be independent. But you have to always you have to give me a sign that you have it under control. So that's all. That's how I grew up. So in that sense, I wanted my kids also to have the same. That they know they have the rights, they have the power, but at the same time, I'll be there guiding them when I need to. For me, so
yeah, this is an important topic, and it's also not an easy one because your own religion, that's easy, but when we are talking about the kids' religion, that's challenging.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it can get difficult, that's true, but I think at the same time, like I said, it's not sealed in stones, at least for me, in my perspective. There's nothing that's sealed in stones. It's like a marketplace, right? There's different paths to a marketplace. You can either go by foot, you can go with a bike, you can go with a car, you can even decide to fly there if you have the power. And that's the way I see religion. It's just like a way of life, and you just have to. And notice there's none that is bad or good. You just have to see the one that you think suits you and makes you comfortable. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I like that. But what's your perception, Sophia, about this?
I was more maybe at the beginning not worried, but more thinking, how do we do it? But then in the end, then I just let it go again. Okay, let's see how it goes. And now I never even, at the moment, it's not even something I think about, because we just give them what we know, what we practice. Maybe I'm not really practicing Christianity much, I would say. So maybe from my side, they will not get so much. It's now Christian knowledge or practices. So whatever Mohammed wants to give to them, for me, it's okay. It's nice. It's enriching for them to learn so much. So, yeah. And they will take what they need from every parent and create their own path out of it. And that's what's up to them in the end. So that now it's not really on my mind at all, or any point of conflict. Yeah.
But I love how respectful you guys are, because I often ask in this conversation, what does women think about the meaning of respect in the Nigerian culture, because that's a very deep and complex word in the Nigerian context. And you guys, I don't have to ask you about it, because today's conversation is just I would say, I'm looking for the word, but the respect was throughout the conversation, I have to say. It was really refreshing for me to hear. But yeah, we are going towards the end of the interview, so I have two more questions. And the next one is, what have you learned from each other's culture? Sophia said about yelling.
Yeah.
But are there other things that you guys learned that you keep as a part of your personality?
Do you want to start or should I start?
You start.
Okay. Maybe I would already some topics that already came up. I think for me, I learned, or I really appreciate the respect for the elderly and the main thought of taking care of each other, looking out for each other.
Mhm.
Community-based thinking. That's what I really now, I think, embedded or integrated into my daily life that I learned. Yeah, I think that's the main one. And to embrace life the way it comes and to not set your own limits, to push further and keep growing and prove some people wrong. Yeah.
I love that. What about you, Mohammed?
I think the first thing is, like I said, learn to also a bit, how do you say, try to let things go, because I don't know how to put that. Not let things go per se, not like you gave up or something, but more like it's okay to also let some things be. It doesn't always have to be perfect, right? That I have to learn, because in that sense I'm a bit up. Well, sometimes I can go into some mode that I need. She's sometimes like, okay, it's okay to slow down, right? So I'm trying to, I think those are the things I'm learning. And I think for me also, I think one thing that's still helping me today from meeting Sophia and from coming here, it's like this self-awareness. It has helped me a lot to grow as a person, pay attention to my own person, and also to take care of myself more, because sometimes we forget to do that. And also, now that even we have kids, because in our case it's all boys, and whether we're not against mom, I'm sorry, it's not against you moms, depending on the gender, the kids mirror the gender they are closest to it. If it's a girl, they mirror the mom. If it's a boy, so I have to also learn to pay attention to myself, also try to be of my best character. So that's what I meant by the self-awareness. So again, at the end of the day, it's just being a better version of yourself, right? So that's how I can summarize it. It's just little improvement every day, like that, even if it's 0.000001. So
Yes, exactly. Okay, so as a last question, guys, you come from totally different cultures, two religions, two sides of the world, and you've been together 14 years. You have two amazing boys. So, what is your advice to people dating or trying to think, getting into intercultural relationship with Nigerians?
they shouldn't do it because they have something to benefit. They do it because they mean it. Because if they do it because they mean it, there's so much benefit to it. Not just for them, even for people around them, because it's just what we have been saying, just what you said. Like, there's a picture already painted, but it's an opportunity to change the narrative, right? People always think it's not possible, two different cultures, but if you mean it, if you're committed to it, there's so much enrichment in it. And I think at least our lives has been a testimony, and I will do it again. That's what I would advise. Make sure the commitment is there. Don't do it because you think you have something to benefit from it. Do it because you mean it. That's all I can advise.
Sophia, I don't know if you realize, but he said twice today that he would do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the checks at the beginning. I noticed when he's in.
Yeah.
I have a partner for life. I don't have to worry. And that gave me a lot of safety. But about maybe back to the last question is also
Yes.
the couple that there's so many influences around you, but that you as a couple sit down together and try to sometimes also shut out what's going on around and what people around think or want to say or influence, that you listen to each other and you work yourself through it yourself as a couple and decide for yourself what is best.
But guys,
not
14
sometimes
years.
only in favors of someone else. More what do two of you want? What makes most sense in your situation?
It's okay to be selfish now and then.
Yeah, selfish. Yeah, so that's what I said. I was so excited already because I've just realized I asked you the question about the dating Nigerians in this kind of like the first phase of the relationship, but you guys, you've been together 14 years. So what is your secret?
What is our secret?
Yes, what is your secret to the successful relationship?
I think
just accept differences also.
You said something very well. I think you mentioned something, what you said, I think about the book. I think it's the acceptance, I think. We accept each other. We know it's gonna, even though sometimes it drives you nuts, it will always drive you nuts. It's normal. Especially if your partner can be dramatic sometimes. So you just accept it.
You have the same goal, sometimes different ways to reach that goal. And yeah, to accept that and trust that things are gonna be okay.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what has always helped us. We know the goals, we know we are working towards the same goal. Even though maybe the partner's approach might not be not the way you like it, just learn to look away. That's what I always do now and then. So I think just be sure that you're on the same page, then it doesn't matter. It's just like what you ask about, how do we manage with the kids? Sometimes I'm like the hot head, she's like the cool head. I'm the fire, she's the water. Sometimes, and then I do it my way, she do it my way. Sometimes I don't agree the way we talk about it when the kids are not there. And like I said, just put everything on the table, be transparent about situations, and don't make anything too heavy, because when it's heavy, then everybody's heavy. The whole mood is bad. So just throw it out and let everything. Sometimes it takes a bit of a time. It's okay. Let it. But I think what the most important thing is the acceptance. Okay, that this is what she is. And there's a reason they call it for better, for worse, right? so that's the reminder, right? And I'll just use one word. One of my uncles always say, it's all about the bullshit, right? So it's
how to handle each other's bullshit.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about the bullshit. So I've accepted my bullshit. She has accepted.
Yeah, exactly.
We have accepted each other's bullshit.
No one's perfect.
No one is perfect. So that helps. And then sometimes you even make jokes about it. It's humor. So that's
even me here. I'm learning. I'm learning from you guys.
So I think that's one thing. That's one of the few tools we always use. And like I said, at the end of the day, if you retrace it, it goes back to the acceptance, right? So, and that's what we've been doing. Yeah, and like you said, it's not as anybody can just drive in straight line. It takes a lot of professionals to drive through curves, and that's what it's the Nigerian thing, and it's not just Nigerians, in every situation. And that's what we have been trying, navigating the curves. When it's straight, we enjoy it on cruise control.
But after such a long time, you don't sometimes notice anymore that you are in a intercultural relationship because it feels so normal.
So,
like, yes, when people sometimes ask how do you do it, it's like, okay, just do it.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for many years, so
yeah,
it's you're normal now. This is our normal.
So normal, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I'll bring everything back to the acceptance then. Okay, this is your partner. Can drive you crazy 10 times in a day sometimes, and when she's not there also it's the same thing. You miss her, and yeah. That's how it works.
She drives you crazy, but you miss her. Yeah.
That's how life
Welcome to the long relationship.
Exactly. And then it's like a trouble that you love, right? So it's a necessary evil, they say.
The necessary evil. So, guys, now we know what is Sophia's and Mohammed's secret. I would love to really thank you guys for your courage. I hope you will actually encourage other couples who don't want to show themselves publicly but would love to share their own stories. So I will put the questionnaire, the list that you can sign up to be a part of the interview as well for those shy couples. So we are wishing you all the best, your own online in-laws. Yeah, lots of blessings, guys. I'm sitting here myself. I think I also learned a lot from this conversation, and I hope it was helpful to you guys. We will welcome all the comments and good wishes to Mohamed and Sophia in the comment section. So thank you for your time once again.
Thank you so much.
It was really nice. Also for us, we got to learn a lot. Super interesting questions, also some difficult questions to answer, but it was really nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. It's an honor that you also provide this platform to share it, and yeah.
Thank you guys, because I think your insight, it was also important, and it's gonna help a lot of couples. It's 11 p.m. now in Finland. I'm wishing you good night, and thank you once again.
Good night.